Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So it's the next instalment of my Tamiya speed run car and also motor comparisons. So this is the next motor upgrade. So we've done the standard 540 2S3S, we then went to Tamiya Sport Tuned 2S3S, and in today's video it's about upgrading it to the Tamiya Super Stock BZ motor. This should be quite a big jump, I think. Just to give you a summary so far. It's the first time out with a 540 motor on 2S. We hit 25.4 miles an hour. On the Sport Tuned on 2S, we hit 30.4. So with that RPM increase, we got an extra 5 miles an hour on 2S. Just to give you the 3S figures. Standard 540 on 3S was 34.7 miles an hour, and on 3S was 39.1 miles an hour. What we need to do is get the Sport Tuned out and get the BZ motor in. It's difficult when I'm talking about specs of motors because depending on what you read, you get different sort of answers. But I think what it's safe to say is the Sport Tuned's a 23 turn motor, round about just short of 19,000 RPM. Super Stock BZ is a 23 turn motor as well, but it's got much higher RPM. Torque's around about 500, and this sort of spec, it says roughly under no load it's about 26,500 RPM. So I'm kind of expecting between 4 and 5,000 RPM extra, but again, we won't know. But fingers crossed this is going to be a decent jump. So that's enough talk. I tell a lie. So this is a standard BZ. Now the next motor that I will test after this will be the Tamiya Super Stock RZ, which is a 27,500 RPM. But I fully ball raced that one. So I think the best thing to do is, because I've got some motor bearings, is to take this apart, clean it, fit the new bearings to it, and then when I do go to the RZ comparison, it's much fairer. So do I do that on camera or not? I will do it on camera, but if you guys are not interested in seeing how you upgrade this with ball bearings, what I can do is you can just fast forward to the running of this. Right, so big shout out to Happy RC for supplying me the motor bearings. I'll put a link in the description to his website. He's just starting out, he's covering all the bearings, way cheaper than anyone else, and a load of other replacement parts are going on that website. So check him out and let's give him a good start to this hobby. So as I say, motor bearing kit, 4 bearings. I don't like giving sizes out on here, but that's what I've got, and as I say, there's one in each side to take these bushes out. So very simple to do. Take these springs off, take brushes out, try not to get your fingers on the ends of them, like that, and then just slacken this off. Two screws, and this is fixed timing, so there's no worry about where the can goes. Oh, that's tight. Come on. Right, so slight turn, don't lose any washers, that's very important. And to remember whereabouts on the rotor they go. So actually one of your bushes in there. Quite a bit of dirt in there as well. What's the com like? Yeah, com's in good condition. We'll clean that up as well. So let's just push down gently. Try not to touch the com with your fingers. There we go. So that's the rotor out. What I'll do, I'll just put those washers back on, so we know which way around. Oh my word! So we know which way around to go. God, sorry, I'm doing this behind a bloody camera. Right, get on. Right, that's the rotor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just get a cloth in there and clean this can out. Quite straightforward. Then I'm going to just do the same. I'm going to take this plate off. Again, it's just slacken those two screws. It just allows, well, in fact, no, I'll leave the plate on. We'll clean this up. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try the freezer method. I didn't do this last time round, but after I'd done it, a lot of guys in the comments, especially on the Facebook group, said, because these bushes knock out reasonably easy, but because of the magnets, getting the bearing into the can, obviously the bearing wants to touch, and it was a very tight fit, so I had to kind of knock it home gently. But apparently if I stick these in the freezer, then it makes, well, first of all, the bushes come out a lot easier and the bearings go in a lot easier. So I'm going to try that method for the first time. So let's stick these bits in the freezer and then we'll see what happens. Right, that's the first stage complete. So, got a lot of dirt and grime from the inside of the can and the end bell. The com is in great condition, but I've cleaned it up. I think one of the tricks is to use a rubber off the end of a pencil, and then clean it up after that and get any residue out of the ridges in the com. As I say, that com looks in great condition, so that's that done. We've also got the bushes out. I had it in the freezer for about 5 minutes, the can and the end bell, and then just tapped them out very easy. Them almost fell out. Then I put the end bell back in the freezer for 5 minutes, and all I did was I just put the bearing onto the rotor and then just pushed it in very gently, and it actually went home instantly without any pressure. So that's the bearing in the end bell finished. So I did try, the trickiest bit of this is getting this bearing into the inside of a can with the magnets, because obviously when you put the bearing inside it scoots all over. So my idea was to put the bearing on here, put a washer on, put the bearing on there, and then put the rotor inside. But obviously with the magnets you're not getting it perfectly square. Anyway, it was nowhere near getting that bearing in. So what I've just done is I've just put the bearing and the can back in the freezer, so we'll leave it for 10-15 minutes and see if that does the trick. Right, 15 minutes in the freezer, we've got it in. Again, it is still a little bit tricky, but you can tell that the temperature trick definitely works, but I did have to knock it home very gently. But again, it's just about getting it square. So that's sat flush now, how it should be, and as I say, cleaned. End bell ready to go. The brushes, yeah, they look great, and as I showed you already, the com. So it's just a case of building it back up now and putting it together. Right, that's the end bell on. Remember guys, do not over tighten those two small screws and tighten them down at the same, because if you over tighten you will bend that alloy plate on the inside. I've done it before. For some reason my brain says that that's got to be tighter than hell because of these moving parts, and it's not. It's just got to be tight. So as I say, that's screwed down. Just a case of putting the brushes in. These are stand up, not lay down. That goes in. Just push gently. Get a spring. Riveting video this, isn't it? Get it in, that locates on that groove, and then bend the spring round, and that's in position, and then just fold that brush wire over, and exactly the same. In it goes. And then over. And then spring in position, and then wired over. So that's it guys. Nice little mod. These magnets are so strong, so it's really difficult to turn this rotor. But that BZ is now fully ball raced, which is awesome. So the next stage is to get that into the car. And this is a bad boy car. That's I'm super impressed with this chassis. I know it's a lot to do with the spur and the pinion, why it is so quick, but nevertheless the handling. I mean, these what have I done, 540 sport tune, so I've done 2 sort of full speed runs, and these are not like out and out speed runs now, because this car just performs as a normal RC car right now. It's not like it's over geared, so it doesn't accelerate quickly or anything. It's a real bad boy with a really top high end speed. So as I say, if you've not seen this before, all I've got to do, I've got a tyre wrap to take off here, but the way I've done it, because to get the motors in and out as quickly as I can, I don't have to do too much with the wiring. So let's get this motor swapped over, and I also want to count what the spur gear is, and that's done. So BZ in position, meshing correct. Obviously as I said, the magnets are a lot stronger on these motors, so you can't go by sound as much for meshing, so you've got to get it really in there to have a good look. Anyway, I messed around with it a couple of times and I'm happy with that now. Wiring sorted out, another tyre wrap on there. Once the other battery's in, it keeps that in that position and keeps all that tight. So it's time to get it out, and I'm super excited about this one. So the last recap I'll do, so we were last out with this, with the sports tuned. On 2S we did 30.4 miles an hour, and on 3S we did 39.1 miles an hour. So let's see what this improvement is. Right guys, we're out. So we'll just give it a little blast first of all before we turn the GPS on, because I'm really curious about the acceleration on it. It's still punchy enough. It's I don't know why I'm expecting it not to be, actually, because we've not altered the gearing, but right, what we'll do is we'll switch GPS on and then we'll see what it does in a straight line. Right guys, the GPS is on, so the speed to be on this 2S run is 49 kilometers an hour. I'm very curious to see what this is going to do. Right, let's take it up the road. Right guys, let's bring that back, see what it did. Right, so we got 59 kilometers an hour. Right guys, that's 36 miles, well 36.6 miles an hour. So it's a decent increase, but I would have expected it to be more. Anyway, I mean, bloody hell, 36.6 miles an hour on 2S is bloody quick. Right, let's bang the 3S in and do that speed run GPS test. 3S time for the speed run. Problem I've got now is with this kind of speed on 2S, it's difficult to slow down. Wow. Right, let's try to take this further up to the top. One last run. This is getting so hard to slow down. See what we got. So that was 79 kilometers an hour. Right guys, so that was 79 kilometers an hour, which equates to 49 miles an hour. So that's incredibly quick. Right, let's go back for a summary. Well guys, it was a decent run. I've got to be honest, it didn't feel as good as the last couple of times out with the different motors. This felt a little bit more unstable to me. Slowing this thing down is an issue now at the speeds we're starting to achieve. You come off the power and it just freewheels equally as fast. I don't want to I try to brake slowly, but if you brake a little bit too hard, then because of the front one-way diff, the back just spins and the car can career off left or right. And I don't want to trash it because I'm not about that. I want to go as fast as I can, but without damaging anything, if that makes sense. So last time out, sports tuned on 2S, we got 30.4 miles an hour. The BZ did 36.6 miles an hour. 3S for the speed runs. Sports tuned did 39.1 miles an hour, and the BZ did 49 miles an hour. There's a big disparity there with that 3S run. I don't know why. The 2S to 3S jump should stay roughly the same. So, for example, when we were doing the 540, the difference between 2 and 3S was about 9 miles an hour. When we did it on the sports tuned, it was about 8.5 miles an hour. But on this BZ yesterday, 36.6 up to 49, 13 miles an hour quicker. I'm not too sure why. Was the GPS speedo playing up? I don't know what else it could be. These belts, I think, start to maybe need tightening. The front is a little bit slack, although it doesn't feel that slack. But I was thinking, was it going into two-wheel drive, making it a little bit quicker? I don't know. So it'll be interesting because next time out is the Super Stock at RZ. Now, after speaking to my buddy Lee on Facebook, who's raced all his life, he's a wealth of knowledge on all this kind of stuff. And what he was saying first of all was I shouldn't be using 3S on these brush motors and not designed for that. I'm aware of that. I'm doing this for a bit of fun, but obviously I'm not telling you guys to run these motors constantly on 3S because you'll just destroy them. Also, he was saying the Tamiya Super Stock BZ is the off-road motor and the RZ is a touring car on-road motor. He ran an RZ in his Boomerang racing, and he said it ran like pants. But when he went to the BZ motor off-road, it ran like a dream. So I am super excited about putting the RZ in next and trying it, because as I say, something just wasn't right about this. I don't know what it was. I don't think we'll get massive gains in speed. I think we'll hardly get any. But this has got more RPM, less torque. The BZ has less RPM but more torque. So we'll see how I think it's going to be a decent comparison when I get to run this. So I think that's pretty much it for now. So as I say, next run up we'll get the RZ in. So once again guys, thanks so much for watching, it's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us. And if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always guys, happy RCing.